I'm Dominique White, and I'm the winner of the 9th Max Mara Art Prize for Women. So Deadweight came as a kind of realization that there is no means of escape, but only destruction. And deadweight is a nautical term which kind of denotes the unit of like the weight of a ship and everything that is on the ship. I've always been very interested in nautical themes, but always through like the lens of blackness and through the lens of escaping. So for me, this was like a very new project to veer towards. Something that was quite terrifying in the beginning. So my residency started in Agnone, where I had the privilege of working with Fondaria Campani Marinelli to kind of learn about the tradition of making bells in such a historic fondaria. But within this process, we had quite an interesting discussion about the limitations of bronze. Within the museum, they have examples of bells that have been struck by lightning, that have been shot in the war. So it's kind of, yeah, for me, more eye-opening to see, I guess, like the failures of a material. The second stage of my residency I spent in Palermo, hosted by Palazzo Buchera. I was working alongside Giovanna Fiume, who is a wonderful historian and writer who specializes in historic migration, notably across the Mediterranean. We spent a few weeks discussing these like historic routes, but also piracy, and how that kind of shapes the idea of the ship and the idea of movement throughout the world.
Negli incontri che abbiamo avuto con Dominique siamo partite dal tema della schiavitù perché era un suo interesse di ricerca e abbiamo cominciato dal guardare le carte geografiche perché per l'appunto gli storici francesi ci hanno insegnato che non c'è storia senza geografia. La schiavitù, poiché è un fenomeno di lunga durata, ogni volta che un fenomeno ha una durata così lunga, viene in qualche modo percepito come immutabile. Se è immutabile, diventa quasi naturalizzato. Per me è stata una sfida molto interessante e soprattutto ho cercato di pormi la domanda: che cosa può interessare un artista? No? E la risposta l'ho trovata nel fornirle non solo una certa quantità di nozioni, eccetera, ma una certa quantità di immagini, perché lei poteva essere interessata non solo ad ascoltare, ma anche a vedere.
I really enjoyed my time in Palermo because I thrive in chaos, and I feel like this city, as part of the Mediterranean landscape, really embodies this idea of stillness, but like chaotic energy at the same time. And it was in Palazzo Steri, which is like a historic prison within Palermo, that this idea of, I guess, like a person's soul embodying an object first kind of came to light. Despite working essentially next to the same sea as Palermo, Genova had a very different energy in regards to what the sea held. In Genova, it's more of like a historical kind of power. I mean, this was the localized point of colonialism.
Genova è una potenza navale, è una potenza marittima e una potenza economica. E questo è un po' quello che interessava a Dominique, conoscere un po' anche quello che avveniva all'intorno di questo mondo che è il mare. L'interesse di Dominique è il disastro, è l'avventura, è la schiavitù, è il passaggio, e quindi l'abbiamo condotta in questo percorso attraverso i musei, attraverso i reperti, attraverso i documenti.
E attraverso queste visite e questi incontri è stato possibile mostrare a Dominique sia appunto delle storie che poi degli oggetti effettivi e reali del passato, quindi dei veri testimoni viventi e comunque dei sopravvissuti dell'epoca. Questo approccio ha permesso quindi a Dominique di andare a vedere e rivivere la storia con i suoi occhi, senza avere perciò una mediazione contemporanea o moderna di uno studioso o di uno storico, quindi di sicuro è un aspetto particolarmente stimolante.
And for me, Geneva was very important for, I guess, generally research as well as this project specifically, because it's where I gathered most of my references. So in Milan, we focused again on material, again with bronze, whilst working at Fonderia Artistica d'Italia. It was a week-long, intense workshop into lost wax casting and also understanding, again, the limitations of bronze in a more modern sense. I would say that bronze is a very particular material that I'm not quite ready to use because I find it's loaded with a very particular history that doesn't quite align with the materials that I use in my practice. Because for me, bronze is a very permanent metal. And for me, I'm more into like an ephemeral kind of history, something that's intangible. In Todi, it's been an opportunity to really draw everything that I've seen so far in residency together in a more practical sense. Because for me, the practical element is as important as the more theoretical research. It's another mode of thinking for me.
Devo dire che Dominique è stata molto intraprendente, quindi ho detto magari se hai dei disegni possiamo cominciare a vedere, mi dici qual è quello che tu vorresti realizzare e partiamo da quello. Abbiamo scelto un disegno e abbiamo cominciato dal disegno a realizzare il primo modello. Poi abbiamo ingrandito leggermente il modello, quindi siamo andati a sviluppare proprio le tematiche della scultura. Per me la scultura è a 360 gradi, si avvicina all'architettura, è ingegneria, quindi è forse l'arte più completa che ci possa essere. Però abbiamo sviluppato altre tecniche, tipo la programmazione in 3D al computer, poi il taglio con il plasma, quindi abbiamo piegato il ferro con una pressa, siamo andati poi ad utilizzare invece la fiamma per provare a curvare.
The techniques that we've been working on are skills that I will definitely carry forward, such as working with welding machines, which is something that has always terrified me because in a metal sense, I'm completely self-taught. So to have guidance, professional guidance from Michele has been, yeah, I can't match that anywhere else in the world. But also working with more handheld, I guess like fire, has been an invaluable experience that has kind of led me to a new understanding of how destroying the skin of a metal can therefore open up the possibilities of its longevity. I've always gravitated more towards iron than other metals, notably because of the history of the metal. For me, iron is one of the signifiers that a shipwreck is a slave ship. It's also one of the signifiers in like historical settings that blackness has been present, especially through slavery. I like breaking the rules, and I kind of want that to be embodied in the exhibition and how people perceive it. I want it to be an exhibition of works that are decaying, that are kind of dilapidated and falling apart, but as a means of kind of, yeah, inspiring that idea of rebellion in people, or giving people, I don't know whether I would say or agree, but giving this idea of hope to people. I don't necessarily mean hope with like a capital H, this idea that everything will be sparkly and wonderful in the future, but this idea that there is an alternative future that has to be born from like the ashes of the present. So yeah, I'd kind of, yeah, dare I say, want to give a bit of hope to people. I wouldn't say that this residency has offered me a moment of calm, because I do truly realize that I do thrive in chaos, and I have been working incessantly these 5-6 months. But I would say that it's kind of reaffirmed my working style and how much I like to be deeply involved with research, kind of completely embedded in research if possible. So to have 6 months just to focus on one project and one body of research has been amazing, actually, and it will be something that I carry forward in the way that I work, but also I'm sure many of these references will pop up again in years to come. I just don't know when or how.